Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Rudo, AJ, and Blais coming at you live as the Avs defeat the San Jose Sharks 4-2 in a game that they kind of smoked that team in. It really felt like the Avs, at least on the stat sheet, it felt like the Avs just kind of worked that team most of the night.
Yeah, there were a competitive 10 minutes in there during the second period where you were like, Sharks are starting to feel like they're in this game now. They didn't do much with it, but they got to feel good about themselves. Given the season they've had.
Yeah. This was like a get-right game for everybody on the Avs that were having bad fucking numbers.
Yes, it very much was. It very much was. Is that your refrigerator hat, or were you just wearing an Admiral's hat for no reason? Okay, it is
there you go.
Hat. Yeah, wanted to make sure. This one, it really did feel like the Avs were just kind of the better team. MacKinnon comes back. He was moving well tonight. They get a bunch of different depth scoring throughout the game. Sharks goals even didn't feel super competitive. The results felt correct in this one at the end of the night, I think is what I'm trying to say. So sure, we can start there with the $5 super chat from Pete. Is NICHUSHKIN the best forechecker in the NHL? Because it feels like every night that dude is creating multiple turnovers in the offensive zone. A silent nod. That's the answer I get there. Okay.
I mean, he was flying tonight.
Like, it's fine. Like, he's a wrecking ball. He wreaks havoc.
For sure.
You know, it's NICHUSHKIN and whichever forward is forechecking Sam Girard with the puck. Those are your best forecheckers in the NHL.
If Nuke had silky mitts, he would be unstoppable. But
did everything but score a goal tonight for sure. Yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of chances.
Yeah, but puck slides off his stick after he walks around everybody, and you're just like, "This is the NICHUSHKIN stuff." That
yeah,
we've gotten real comfortable with this stuff. It's like when he's like picking corners and shit, and like sniping goal. You're like, "Whoa, what is? Can I believe in this man?" And then like a night like tonight happens, and you're just like,
"Okay,
we cool.
We know where we're at for sure."
Yeah.
Like the one where he sneaks to the middle of the ice and shoots it 8 feet wide of the net tonight.
That was a wild miss.
That happened, and I just went, "What?" so loudly that the dog jumped while we were sitting on the couch because he was just vibing, and I was just like, "What was that, bro?"
That was bad. Shoot it higher.
Okay. I don't have we ever made Blais do the 60-second rundown before? I think
I have. I did it in like 10 seconds.
All right. Can you beat your record? No, this one's going to take more than 10 seconds. There's more to that this game.
Well, the first period, Avs dominated with nothing to basically show for it, right? No goals scored in the first period, so whatever. It looked like they were doing well. You get into the second period. As expected, we saw Curtis McDermott with a great assist over to Nui. So knowing that we were going to get some depth scoring tonight, looked good. Then for some reason, I think this was a coaching error here where they decided to leave him out and have Timo Meier and Tomas Hertl out on the ice. So they were playing D against that, or he was. That was bad.
Are you really going to say that was playing D?
Well, I mean, that's where he lined up, so we're calling it D. We could break that down in a little bit because we can go real in depth into that because that was bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad there.
And then the third period happened where the Avs just wanted to show, like, we are the best team in the league, and you guys are a bottom feeder this year. So get the hell out of our way. Helm, again, getting that depth scoring that we talked about. That's there's a lot of shots there all of a sudden for me and Rudo. You got the fourth line scoring there.
Yeah, $20 a shot was promised on the pregame. So
yeah, and we've heard this before in the studio. Cale Makar is no Brett Burns, and Brett Burns showed up with a goal tonight. So to keep it close. And then again, Mikko and Berkey finished it off and kept everything under 6.5 goals. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, Blais goes 2 for 3 again on his bets.
In plus.
Yeah, all plus again. So I feel like
now
that one was
shaking his head.
That was like that was not a 60-seconder. That one might be worse than Jesse's the other night for length.
Yeah, here. Did you mark it?
No shot. No shot. He was tracking this one.
Oh.
Rewind all the way back to the first goal and 2:15, way over.
After I gave Jesse a bunch of shit on Tuesday night about going over.
he went over like 12 seconds and you go 2:15. Rewind all the way back to the first goal. Alex Newhook gets off of an 18-game goalless streak. I also pointed this out on Twitter. He gets assists from Johnson and McDermott. McDermott now has more points in the months of March than LOC and NAC combined. So if you're looking for a positive in McDermott's game, there's one. Obviously great to see Newhook get a goal in. I do think Newhook has started to recognize, especially over the last 5-6 games when he's down there on that third line, that he's got to be the guy scoring the goals, not setting up the plays. We've seen him start to shoot the puck a bit more. Will it come?
Like, who makes the play on that goal? Like, there's Sturm, great on the forecheck.
Goes and gets the puck out, sure.
Yeah, like great on the forecheck. And then both defensemen, they get the assists.
They just pass the puck pretty.
Like, EJ just gives it to McDermott and is like, your problem now, LOL. And McDermott just stands there. And Newhook's like, all right, I'll do this. And he like steps out. He reads the ice, sees the soft spot, steps out into it, knows that he's got space, knows that he's going to have time. If he gets the puck comes to him and he just throws it on net. I mean, it's good. Everything about that was like basic. There's no X's and O's needed for any of that. That's just
to open ice and make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Nico Sturm goes and gets the puck, digs it out of there. And then JT Compher just puts his ass in Capo Kakinen's face and does not ever go into the crease and just does not everybody makes a good decision. Everybody makes a good play and they get the goal out of it. Like I love goals like that because you're just like, what do you say? It looks so easy when they do it like this. And you're wondering, there are games where you just can't get anything in it. You passed a goaltender. And it was looking like this was going to be one of them. And I kind of feel bad for Kakinen. He played great.
It just didn't happen. Then
just watched a 4-spot get thrown at him at the end. And you're just like, what? And, didn't deserve that. Because he was the only reason this game was good. Him and Frankie not being able to track a puck from the blue line. That was it. Those were the only 2 reasons this game was competitive. That was it.
We'll get to the Frankie thing in a bit.
How good was Nico tonight, though?
Dude, I thought the list of Avs who played really, really well was really long, and the list of Avs who played really poorly was Frankie on the second goal.
Yep, I agree. I don't think anyone really played that badly tonight.
No, and I think that Manson and Jack Johnson were okay at times. Probably the guys that I would have graded out the lowest, but
And
I
even
didn't have any.
C's are better, yeah.
We're talking like C+ caliber games here. Like I had no bones there. And like my biggest problem of the night is Francouz on the second goal. The rest of that, I'm like, I think Hertl made a great play on the first goal more than anything else. I think Hertl made a great play, and they like two great players made a great finish against a group of guys on the ice they shouldn't have been out there against. They took advantage of that one situation, made a couple of great plays, and you know what? For me, I was just kind of like, well, that's how that goes sometimes. The second one was the one that bothered me. Like that, the game never should have gotten to 2-2 and never should have been all that close. Like I loved the Avs got into the third period, and we're like, we're in a game with these guys, and these guys don't belong on the same ice as us.
Blais,
and like blew their doors off from that point on.
You seemed ready to jump on breaking down that first goal, so I'm assuming you're going to give us
no.
that it was a great play.
No. I was just going to talk about right before the Brett Burns goal. Jack Johnson was doing his best Cale Makar impression on the blue line there. Like he blew past some dude, made him look silly. And I was about to tweet it, and then they scored. So I was like, well, that the moot point at this point. So
it's the way it goes sometimes.
It's not good though when Jack Johnson is just making people look silly on the blue line.
Yeah, not a ringing endorsement for sure. So great play by Hertl and Meyer, sure. Honestly, especially this time of year, I really don't mind that Bednar is throwing out a McDermott against the top guys because let's be honest, the Avs are just trying to not burn out the legs of their top pairing D right now, right? Like, and you live with the results. Whatever happens, there happens.
And like if that had been the end of it, you're like, oh, we gave up one even strength goal.
Yep.
To Tomas Hertl and Timo Meyer. Like those are the guys you give up a goal to when you play the Sharks.
Yep. Yeah, and they're hot right now.
You're just like, dude, you just like they just outplayed your guys in that situation. Like sometimes that shit happens. Like I feel like if there's one thing that we as a very hyper Avalanche focused show don't do enough of, it's just simply tipping the cap when the other team makes a great play and just being like,
sometimes they good. Sometimes they good.
And like Curtis McDermott's like little Matador Olay bullshit probably made life a little easier than it should have been. But like he tried to stand Hertl up at the blue line and Hertl fought right through that. And that's not easy to do. Like that's one thing that McDermott will do well. Hertl just fought right through it. And I liked it, man. I thought it was good.
I mean, the problem
McDermott can't skate. He just can't skate.
It's not.
Well, that's why he has to stand a guy up at the blue line, because if he has to turn his body, homie's fucked.
The thing is, like, McDermott should have just taken Meyer. Like, Manson is chilling back, ready to take Hertl as the puck carrier, and McDermott is in line to take Meyer. But instead of taking Meyer, he cuts across, and Manson has to switch, and that forces Manson into a situation where he has to turn now. And Manson ends up in a really awkward spot because McDermott gets roasted. But
yeah, well, and what I also didn't like, Manson didn't do anything.
Yeah, Manson ended up in no man's land, covered nothing.
Like Manson came across, and you're like, okay, like come across and crush that guy.
Yep, at least make him pay.
What was that? Like he was like on the wrong. He totally, I don't know. I thought it was a really, really good player in Hertl. Turnstiling a couple of dudes that he's just better than, and then Timo Meyer roofing it.
I mean,
on a desperate
again. You're right. I don't want to take anything away from San Jose there, but I think that play never happens if Manson just talks to McDermott. Like all Manson has to say is, "I got the puck carrier there," and I think that play never happens.
I think that's for me. That's going to be too hindsight's 2020.
I mean, I don't think it's hindsight, but
because you look at, and I wish we could pull it up because if you look at where they are coming through the neutral zone, everybody's in good position.
Yeah, and then McDermott for no reason just sends it across to the boards, like
everybody is in good position, and you're just it. I think they're fine. It's just Manson ends up in like this weird no man's land, and it never gets better. And like McDermott applied no resistance there for Hurdle. Like, well, like maybe he makes him slow down a little, but you know.
So here's like, we can't actually show you video, but I can show you the still frame that I'm talking about. This is where I see the play, and I'm like, all right, Manson can take Hurdle. Yeah, McDermott might be slightly behind Myers.
That's the problem, is that you're asking if Hurdle gets through, it is a clean 2-on-1, very, very wide open, and Manson is completely, he is totally alone at that point.
I don't know that it is, because I think McDermott is still in striking distance here. Again, I can't show you the video, but Myers gliding right here. So I think McDermott can at least like be close enough to pressure the guy. I get it. McDermott is slow. I understand. But the problem
is weird that like this is what we're talking about right now. Like we have trashed this team in the third period.
We have
we've got a lot of time.
Like,
nitpick.
Put the foot on the floor and blew the doors off these guys. We're talking about the first fucking goal.
We had to find something to nitpick for a little while.
And like there's like a super real chance that Curtis McDermott is not in the lineup come postseason.
But that
none of this matters.
But Rudo, that's the right read, right? Like he's supposed to switch right there. Like Manson's supposed to take the guy coming up the middle of the gut. That's and then McDermott's supposed to come and take the guy that just made the pass up. Even though he doesn't. If
I wish I could show you, like, I have it also pulled up and like paused, and there's a point where McDermott is dead even with Hurdle, and it's like, look, if Hurdle just isn't a big strong dude, and I hate to quote Peter McNabb there, if he isn't just a big strong dude that just absorbs that contact, McDermott will rub probably 95% of guys in the NHL. He will rub off of that puck.
Sure.
And will erase. And it just happened to be that Hurdle could take that contact because he fights through that contact, and that's where all hell really breaks loose.
I agree. And Blais, if you want to look at it that way, sure. You can put this on Manson for not committing to the guy up the middle better, and Manson getting caught too. Because if Manson puts himself in a position where he can stay skating backwards there, the pass to the middle is just never going to be an option for Hurdle, right? Yeah. But instead, he gets burned up the middle. So could be better. Anyway, don't need to talk about that anymore. We're brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when we sign up for a new account. There's still a couple of games left in March Madness that you can get in on. In fact, they're doing a profit boost. If you're not a new account, it's a 100% profit boost on both games tomorrow. AJ's betting it all on Kansas over here. So if you are,
it was definitely fun to see. So DNVR specifically employs a number of fans of high-end college basketball programs, like real ones, not ones in Colorado, and we have gotten to enjoy. Like, I've thoroughly enjoyed this March Madness as one by one. Like, Gonzaga loses, and Kentucky goes down, and like, I didn't enjoy the Colorado State loss to Michigan that much. Actually, I was really pulling for the Rammies there. David Roddy is a lot of fun. So, but anyway, I was like, it's been very fun that Kansas is the blue blood that just got through this.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, for once, yes. I've spent most of my Kansas loving life being the fan of the blue blood that always finds creative ways to lose.
Well,
so
if you're a new account, you can go bet $5 on Kansas with the DNVR code.
Do not do that.
$100 in free bets if they win. If they win,
throw that money at UNC to end Krzyzewski's career, because that would be the greatest storyline ever.
Fuck Duke.
Yeah, my man.
go on over there to DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, use the DNVR code to get the $5 for $200 in free bets. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And then when you have $25 to spare, you can get Avaca TV, so you can watch your Avs on your television. Just $25 a month. You plug it right in like a cable box. It works. You just turn it on. It's right there on your TV. You don't got to jump through any hoops. You don't got to do anything fancy. It also comes with Rocky Mountain Sports Network and national channels. So every major sport in Colorado you can watch. You can watch basketball and hockey on altitude. You can watch the Rockies on AT&T Sports Network, and you can watch football on the national channels. Problem solved. Avaca's got you fully covered. Going over to avaca.tv/DNVR. That's EVOCA.tv/DNVR to get hooked up today. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Getting into the second period, this really was a get-right game for Colorado, right? Obviously, the NEWHOOK goal comes first, but you also end up with a goal from Darren Helm, and later on, after the Rantanen goal, a goal from Andrei Burakovsky. Does getting a little bit of momentum going with their guys who have been struggling to score matter right now? That's my question. Is this too early for the start of the ramp up to the playoffs? Are they going to peak too early on this trajectory, or is this exactly what they want to see?
In what way would you argue that this is bad?
I'm asking, if they get going now, are they going to peak too early?
Peaking too soon.
Yeah.
Wasn't that January when they only lost the 1 game?
Probably. But nonetheless.
No, I'm genuinely like to take your question at face value. No, bro, you love this because it's still not 100% lineup here. And so you still need contributions from Cats. You're still fighting for a President's Trophy. You're still fighting for first seed in out west. You haven't clinched anything. Nothing is set. You're still fighting for something. Some of the stuff, like we're like, these games don't really matter and blah, blah, blah. Like, and while true, like, sure, but there's still stuff on the line here. You still need contributions. You still need the stuff to go a certain way for you. And you're not going to win every game with just your top guys. And you look at who took over the game in the third period. Like, we're talking about, it's a get-right game for these guys. But who took over the game? Because it wasn't Mikko Rantanen and Nathan MacKinnon. It was NAZEM, KADRI, and VALERI NICHUSHKIN.
Yeah, straight. I mean, KADRI, especially for you, I think really was the third period from KADRI is an all-time period, right?
Well, like, he gets smoked, and I have serious concerns about that shoulder being straight up separated.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looked like when he went down. I was like, that's a separated shoulder. And then after they scored that third goal on the power play, and they cut to the bench, and the trainer was working on him, and he's pointing, he's going like this, and you're like, that's a separated shoulder, fam. Because if it's a broken collarbone, he's not out there.
Yeah.
But a separated shoulder, he's like, pop it in, give me the cortisone, we'll worry about this in the morning.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it's gonna be. We're gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be like NAZEM, KADRI out 2 to 3 weeks with an upper body injury.
Grade 1 shoulder sprain.
But it's like, but tonight, like, tomorrow's problems, baby. Because tonight, like, he went full throttle and just dominated the game. So I think it's great to see that Burakovsky, but I kind of feel bad that his goal is just like this like free tap in. But again, like, for a guy that we frequently bag on for being a little too soft and easy to play against,
to the right area. Yep.
He goes in front of the net and he outworks the defenseman. Like, and bangs home that goal. It's not a pretty goal. It's not any of that. So I'm just.
Are you talking about Darren Helm's goal?
No, man. Darren Helm's goal is sick, though.
Okay.
uh,
So,
Sorry,
recovery time,
I'm saying like that was great too because that guy's fighting for a spot in the lineup moving forward, and that's look the great thing is Darren Helm has a couple goals in the last couple of months. The bad thing is they're both against the Sharks, so they're done with them. They don't see the Sharks again until next year, correct? That's bad for Darren Helm specifically, apparently.
Well, from a confidence standpoint, though, like that's got to be great for him, just getting those goals. Like anything you can do to start feeling yourself a little bit more and feeling a little bit more comfortable, especially when you're going in and out of the lineup, right? And you know it's getting close. So, like, this shows the coaching staff, like, you can score. And that's, fourth line goals are bonus goals every night.
yeah, it's never something that you're expecting to rely on, right?
Yeah. It's always gravy, but it's like tonight they needed that. Like they needed that push. They got goals from lines 3 and 4 while they waited for lines 1 and 2 to kind of figure it out. They eventually did. Hey, you're golden. You literally got a goal from every line.
Right.
1
I know
4.
We just spent a ton of the first period complaining about the one goal that the Avs gave up, but there's nothing.
The one real goal.
Yeah, right. But there's just nothing to complain about in this hockey game. The Avs got everything they wanted out of everybody that they wanted.
Yeah.
So,
and like I don't know about KADRI'S health. Like I'm just being an asshole, right? But like
so the thing, assuming it's a shoulder-related thing, assuming it's a separation or a sprain. That's a lot of assumptions, just so we're clear. It could be a lot of things.
I'm not making any of these for real.
A grade one problem you can actually play through. That means there's nothing wrong. It just hurts a lot. If it's grade 2 or 3, it's going to be at least a few weeks.
Well, and I tell you, even if it's 1,
why push it? Right, totally.
You can easily give him a week off to just feel like, all right, man.
Yeah,
especially because between today and next Friday, they play 2 games.
Yep. They have like 5 days off next week. It's
insane. They play on Saturday at home against Pittsburgh. Then they fly to Pittsburgh on Tuesday. And then they don't play again until Friday when they're up in my neck of the woods. So they don't like if there really is like something, no rush. No rush. So that's we'll do this again just for chat real quick. But if that's the real Drew, go ahead and text me, because if it's not, you're getting the band hammer. This isn't fun. We're not going to continue to do this. I don't know why somebody wants to tap on that nerve.
Yep.
It's a weird thing for somebody to think that this is like
it's a really weird one for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can get to our king of the game now, which we've kind of already talked him way up. We have a graphic for it though. It's Nazem Kadri with a 2-point night, fighting through the injury. I think he had like 8 shots on goal or something insane too. So a hell of a night from Kadri there, as
well, and especially after he took the big hit, he's down. He did have 8 shots on goal. The amazing part is he's credited with no hits. I don't know why. I think that's very funny though.
Well, but you talk about a team with a killer instinct, a team you want to see put the pedal down on teams. Naz gets hurt, goes out, he comes back, his next shift out there, he just steps on the pedal, goes wide on a guy and draws a penalty. And it's like,
who was that guy that he went wide on, by the way?
Friend of the show, Nick Malash.
I got a lot of tweets that were like, the Avs just gave that guy away for nothing, which, like, yeah, true. But also, that's why.
I mean, Malash is, maybe not even a number 7 on the Avs. He might be a number 8.
Yeah.
Like,
it's super revisionist history to think that Malash would have
made the Avs decor ever. Yeah.
I do like that we're starting to see, instead of the Avs were the last stop for a bunch of guys in their careers, we're starting to see the proliferation of other of bottom pairing guys from the
That
Avs
couldn't crack
organization
the
outward.
Avs. Yeah.
Where there's a Connor Timmins over there, there's a Ryan Graves over there, there's a Nick Malash over there, and you're just kind of like, huh, this is interesting. They keep spending assets to get these guys to fill holes every year, but it's like you had them. A fun conversation for a different day,
for sure.
But I like with Kadri, dude. What do you even say?
There's nothing to say. That dude's a monster. Yeah,
it was so good, and I did like a game like this just reinforces why he's going to price himself out of Colorado. The Avs just won't be able to do it, and like that's okay because at this point in his career, he's been on such a good, like solid.
The entirety of his free agent career, he's been on an unbelievably good contract.
He's been on a great team-friendly deal, and now he's about to get paid at the finish line of the career. The last big deal. He's going to make that thing count, and good for him. But I still cannot believe we're living in a world where Nazem Kadri is going to push a 90-point season.
And yet, here we are.
And like you've watched it, and you go and you look, and you're like, none of these percentages. Like today, I tweeted about the Predators and how all 4 of their top 6 scorers are all having obscene shooting seasons, and that's driving a lot of their offensive success. And one reason why I think they're a mirage, and why I think that bubble's going to burst quickly. But with Kadri, you go and you look, and there isn't anything driving any of that. He doesn't have a crazy high shooting percentage. He doesn't have it. There's nothing about it other than his assist numbers are way up. Yeah. But even his on-ice shooting percentage isn't like, what the hell is happening? Like,
it just turns out that the Avs put a bunch of talent around him all year.
Dude. And even with MacKinnon missing as many games as he has, it's not like he just sat in between Landeskog and Rantanen and ate Grady all year.
They were running that hasn't been the case. Center for most of the year when Matt was out. Yeah,
that has not been the case. It's been amazing to watch. Just as amazing, Val Nichushkin. Nichushkin just... We talk about the skill limitations and all, but you look at what he's doing to change games, and you're like, right now, health and age and everything included, would you rather have Mark Stone or Val Nichushkin? You would probably still take Mark Stone
if he was healthy.
But this is the thing: between his age, between back problems for a guy nearing 30 years old, and the money that he's making, I think that the gap closed enough where because it used to be like, well, of course. But now you're looking at Nichushkin, and you're like, if he's going to give you 55 or 60 points every year, he closes the hell out of that gap.
I don't know if I'm willing to say he's going to give you 55 points every year.
Even 50, like even if it's just 50. Moving forward, the next 5 years, I will be fascinated to see which one of those guys ends up more valuable.
Yeah.
Because Nichushkin, he's just caught fire in Colorado. And, I think it's really easy for us to get caught up in the UFA conversation stuff, if only because our chat talks about it every single show. But his fit here, like, hopefully he recognizes, like, his fit here is excellent. He's got a coaching staff that brought out the best in him, has believed in him, and it has worked. And the talent around him has worked.
For sure.
And why do the Avs wait so long to re-sign or extend players? They don't wait any longer than anybody else. This is the process. This idea that the Avs are going to sign a bunch of their pending UFAs leading into free agency, if you're those players, I always say there's two of these sides. If you're those players, why are you signing a deal in the middle of the season?
They literally signed Frankie 2 weeks ago. You don't think the Avs would sign these guys if they could?
Yeah. Straight up. Like, if you it's hard to convince those guys to do that stuff. So anyway, like you see it sometimes, like Tomas Hertl signing an 8x8 in a place that he's been his entire career right before a trade deadline, or Chris Kreider doing the same kind of thing. Those guys weren't in that position this year. So,
that also those teams were willing to give a guy an 8x8 in the middle of a season.
Yeah, you also look at Philip Forsberg is now the all-time goal scorer in Predators history, and he didn't get signed.
Yep. It's
arguably the Nashville loses a lot of their competitiveness if that guy leaves in free agency. If Val NICHUSHKIN leaves in free agency,
it hurts, but the
Avs still probably win the Central next year. It just gets harder.
Yep. Okay, we are brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. So go get yourself some. You can pour one out for Matt Nieto because he got absolutely murdered by Curtis McDermott in this game. You get 8 different kinds on tap at the bar. Of course, use their Breck Beer Locator online to find at a local liquor store near you. They're awesome. Would be dope if the Avs flipped their periods and scored 2 in the first to give us free Breck brews in their 2 for a brew promotion. But
remind me to talk about this next period.
What?
Them scoring goals in the third period.
Okay, we will talk about that for sure. We'll talk about the end of the game as well. It's a great time also to get a DNVR Avalanche membership. Well, a membership to all of DNVR. When you get an annual membership right now, it comes with a free shirt. It also comes with a bunch of other perks, including big beers at the bar, access to the DNVR lounge, a bunch of other awesome stuff. So highly recommend you get on over there and get a subscription membership right now. We got a bunch of awesome content coming out pretty much constantly. I feel like we've been pumping out content like mad people as of late.
Yep,
so
the fire hose is on.
Yeah. So get in on it as the playoffs are coming up. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Lifetime member. Let's go. If you're crazy enough to buy the lifetime membership, we will love you forever. I promise. Let's get to the super chats here first for the third period.
Let's do it.
$2 from Rich. Honestly scared McCarr was going to fight there.
I had the same thing. I was like, if he does it,
he was ready. Look at this smile on this kid. All right, he was about it.
That's the smile of a dude that's about to shit in your pillow at a summer camp.
I don't know how to follow up that comment.
He was all about it too. Like Rantanen came over and he was like, "Nah,
yeah."
nah,
he like put his
this
arm
dude's
on
mine. Yeah,
I got him, Rance. It's fine. Okay. Thank you for the $2.
Always be wary of a hockey player that smiles as shit starts to go down.
I was gonna say you've been hanging out with Dermy. $5 from the Schick. You guys think there's any chance Kadri takes a team-friendly deal to stay in Colorado? He fits so well here, and the dude is incredible. Nope. Thank you for the $5, though.
I mean, what would a team-friendly deal would be like a 4-year deal, like $5.5 million, and I can't imagine any way possible he would say yes to something like that.
If I'm Kadri, I'm not taking less than like 7.
Yeah, straight up. Like I'm banking that I'm about to get paid.
Yep.
Especially by Dallas. For the record, I've never attended a summer camp. I've never been to one. I just watched all of the Jason movies.
Never been to a summer camp. Have shit and a lot of pillows though. So
if you go and read a lot of Best Western reviews, they do talk about shitty pillows. They just didn't specify.
$2 from Vincent. Boys, what a time to be an Avs fan. We want VGK. I don't think you're going to get VGK, man. I think they're going to miss. I do
want like the competitor, like just that natural, like I'm so sick of this conversation. I want him at full strength. I want to exercise the demon because I genuinely think that it did something good for Tampa Bay to have to go through Columbus the very next year.
Yep.
Especially that 5 overtime game where it was like they went from like we're the ultimate disappointment to we're Tampa fucking Bay, and now they haven't. Like, people just can't stop them anymore.
7 Canadian for MacKinnon's golf partner. I know we talked about it, but what's the honest assessment of McDermott's impact on this team?
I think he's my personal opinion is I don't think he's an NHL caliber player at forward or defense.
Correct.
But I think that in terms of the chemistry, the camaraderie, like everything that has it going for him, how the room operates and how players, like how humans work, McDermott is A+ across the board. Everybody loves the guy. He goes to bat for him. He does the dirty work. He works really hard. He's A+, in all those ways. I just don't think that he's a NHL caliber player.
I mean, he's the dude that you can put in the press box during the playoffs, and he can still be the awesome dude he is, and everybody wins.
He's a great shower guy.
Him and the other 19 dudes in your shower, Blais, or what?
That is correct. He's a great shower dude.
Okay. I mean, there is no situation where you can convince me, given the other options that the Avs have, that the Avs' best lineup includes Curtis McDermott. But if he's helping the team in other ways, great. And especially during this stretch of the season, they can play Curtis McDermott 25 minutes a night, and I don't care for this part of the regular season.
Yeah.
So
straight up,
I think
that when you're trying to get into like winning time here, like you're matching up. You're matching up in a postseason series. What advantage does Curtis McDermott ever give you? Like his size and his physicality are fine, but they've never changed a game at forward. We've seen it make a little bit of an impact as a defenseman, but all the other things that go into being a defenseman mean that he plays 8 minutes a night. The coaching staff doesn't trust him, has never trusted him. When you get into winning time, it's fine to play him through the regular season. It's fine. Like it's a really weird fit when you're talking about a guy that like benefits your team from a personal perspective, but your on ice perspective, you're constantly trying to figure out how to make it work.
Basically hide him.
And you're just trying to find roles in which you're like, he's not hurting us here. He's doing fine here. This is okay. This is great. This is, whatever, right? Like, But when you get into the postseason, all that emotional, like we're talking about Erik Johnson getting healthy scratched here.
Yep. You gonna play McDermott there? No shot.
No. Though we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday as well. Maybe if the Avs are up 3-1 and the series is getting dirty and it looks like the other team is, basically just there to cause trouble, maybe you see him in the lineup. But even then, I don't know. It's hard to put him into a position, take up that roster spot.
Yeah, I agree. It's really tough to get him in there. $2 from Pete. What are you seeing from Cogliano out there? He continues to play his role to a T. He's a fourth liner that brings a ton of energy, mucks it up, pasty out there, no finish at all, and you live with it. That's
yeah. I mean, I think it's funny because he scored tonight. But I think Cogliano, I've spent the last week of watching Andrew Cogliano and just been like, I wish they'd just signed him instead of Darren Hell. Could have kept the fifth.
I mean, the fifth is whatever, but
sure. But like, That's just
I hear you. You're just doing the best business you can that way.
yeah,
And
exactly. And I'm just kind of like, look, I just think Cogliano's just been a better fit. And
yeah, it feels like there's certainly more there with Cogliano, right? Helm can skate, but that's pretty much the start and the end of it. He's had a couple nice finishes lately, but for the stretch of the season, there hasn't been a ton there. Cogliano, I think, is definitely a bit more grindy and physical. And I will say, anytime Cogliano or Sturm touch the puck in the offensive zone, I go get a snack. Because
and one of those, I will bet you one of my fingers, one of those guys scores a huge
oh yeah,
goal for the
guaranteed
Avs
one of those guys
postseason.
scores like a game 6 game winner or something. That it's dirty as hell, but it gets in the net and makes a difference for sure.
Nico Sturm is going to score a shorthanded goal on a breakaway in like a game 5 with like 7 minutes to play in the third period to take it from a 1-goal game to a 2-goal game. And it's just going to be me on the post game referring to this clip right here. It just feels so inevitable.
It does. I agree. With that being said, as we stated earlier in the show, any given night, your expectation of offense from that line is 0.
Yep.
$7 from Merkus. Sorry if I got your name wrong. Super positive news that Byram is on a conditioning stint with the Eagles. How many games do you think he plays down there? Well, a conditioning stint can only be, I believe it's 5 games, or it's like 14 days, I think. So that many.
Yeah, we got word already that Byram is going to join the team, and he is expected to play both games in Ontario this weekend. Megan is on that already, so trying to work that story for a little bit to see what's up.
Happy birthday, Megan!
Yes.
Yeah. Well, she went out with the fam tonight, so jealous. I'd gone out with the fam tonight.
And 7 more from McKinnon's golf partner. How are we feeling about Lehkonen?
He's so smart.
Yeah.
The one thing that has shown up immediately, because he's still very much trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
But he's so smart. He's always in the right place, and he's always attacking, and it's just like, oh, yeah, this is going to be sick.
How about that pass to KADRI tonight? Oh,
yeah.
That was slick.
I don't know how he got that thing through. I thought it was shut down, man.
There's no way. I was like, there's no way he gets it over there. And
I was like, he's going to throw this puck into the defender, and we're all going to be like, bruh! And then clean through. Yeah. Clean through, right on the stick, perfect. And I was like,
fires it right into the pad. And you're like,
I was like, that's a goal. Never mind.
Yep.
Yeah, it was credit to Kakinen, man. I felt bad if 4 got dropped on him.
Yeah, he played well tonight. Like,
I thought he was so good.
The only reason it was 2-2 was because of Kakinen. Like, it is what it is. The third period itself, first, you guys totally cool with the scrumming late, or do you think is a little chickeny from San Jose there?
I think the only thing that my only frustration was that there were a couple of hits that led to it that you could have easily called penalties that
from
raised
the
temperature. Yeah. Because you had the hit on KADRI, which was the hit that EJ made on Tyson Jones. It's the exact same cross check.
Right in his numbers.
Yeah. He sees it. He extends. He smokes him with the stick. I'm like, bro, if you take his jersey off right now, there's going to be an imprint of the stick on his fucking back. What are we doing here? So, like, and letting that go, like, pissed Naz off. So it ended up being great for Colorado and all, but, like, I thought that the refs, again, like, when you let things like that go, you invite more of it. And so that's what happened. They invited more of it. They got more of it. And then the Avs at the very end were just like, no, we're not taking this. We're not interested in this.
You're 1 month out from playoffs. Might as well start getting used to it because that's how playoff hockey is a lot of the time. So get comfortable.
Everyone's gonna bring it for sure.
On a side note, I'm really glad that Marc-Andre Fleury is in our chat. It's an honor to have him hanging around.
Yo.
It's very cool.
Yo, Math, if that's you, go look up your save percentage and then go look up Kuemper's save percentage.
Yeah, like I'm genuinely super excited that this guy, I think this is 2 shows now that this guy has done this. And I'm just assuming that this is math. And it's like, look, you could have said no to Minnesota, my guy. You could have said no.
Who was the other guy that wanted to join the Avs at the deadline? It's that random guy.
Yeah.
I forget who it was.
The only one I just maybe
Traded himself for Tyson Jost.
Is this Pat Valdez's new account?
He's got the burner out.
Yeah. All jokes aside, though, I do think that Darcy Kuemper rules, and I'm excited to see what he does in the postseason.
I don't know how you can look at Kuemper's body of work from mid-December to now and say that dude isn't just a beast. So
it's getting old listening to people's takes on Kuemper after.
No, and it's like
bullshit.
It's very like, who beat you in the postseason last year? What has Darcy Kuemper ever done in the playoffs? And you're like, yeah, like what has Darcy Kuemper ever done in the playoffs? Like it's fucking true, man.
Ask again in 3 months, and the answer might be nothing, or he won a cup.
As far as I know, like he's won 2 series, 13-14. He beat Colorado, and then he beat Nashville in the
play-in series.
Yeah. So like that's kind of it. It's not a lengthy track record, no doubt about that. So he has everything to prove, especially in a contract year.
Yep.
That was it. Noah Gregor was the one that traded himself to Colorado. He was the one that did it during Roast My Roster. Thank you. That was a great callback. Yeah.
AJ, you wanted to talk about the Avs third period goals.
Yeah, so this is something I almost don't want to talk about because there are enough people who write for other outlets that listen to the pod now that I get very like,
don't steal my story.
About something that might be an article idea that I'm cooking up, but fuck it. So I think it's really interesting to me the way that this Avs team, like in the last couple of years, the second period is where they've been like dominant the last 2 seasons. So COVID shortened season and the 56 game season, both of those dominant second period teams, like okay teams in the third period by goal differentials and goals scored and all that. You go and you look at this Colorado team this year, they're top 5 in scoring in each of the 3 periods. So very balanced, but by far the highest scoring in the third. And so it's really interesting to me because that hasn't been the case in previous years. One, that's the difference in them having all the comeback wins that they didn't have in previous years. But also you look at all the games that they've entered the third period in this year, tied. And how comfortable they are in it. And look how they played tonight.
Yep.
They enter a third period. Like this is a Sharks team that's on the second half of the back-to-back. Not any good. Like you're not overly concerned about the Sharks actually beating you over the course of a third period, right? But the way that they went about it, they just dominated. And we just saw the same thing just happened in Calgary a couple days ago. Dominated that third period. They are dropping the hammer on some teams here. And I think it's impressive. I think it's notable to see that they're not building up a 3-0 lead and trying to coast, use the rest of the game to coast. As much as we've seen in previous years, where they would get out ahead and things would happen to them, and they would end up in a game that was 3-0 9 minutes in, and you're like, it's going to be an easy victory tonight, boys. And with 7 minutes to play, it's 3-2, and you've been white knuckling it the entire third period. You know, like it's just been a little bit like they're so comfortable.
Yeah.
In these tied games in the third period that it's just like it's really kind of an interesting development that I'm not going to say is like necessarily good or bad. It's just a different DNA for a team.
It does almost feel like there's a level of calmness to them where they're confident enough in those situations where they're like, all right, we're going to go out and be the better team and win the hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you ever feel like the Avs are truly checked out of a game?
Yeah.
Like there are times where they look bored.
Yep.
But how often do you really look at them and think and just be like,
outside of the New Jersey game where they clearly just didn't have anything left to check in with.
Well, and they were like they had a 3-0 lead in a game that they had not played
well at all in.
Remotely well in.
Yeah.
It was the most like smoke and mirrors 3-0 lead of the year. Like it was just nonsense. It wasn't like they blew their doors off and then ran out of energy. They played like shit, fell backwards into a 3-0 lead that they coughed up. They should have lost that game 10-0. Like they were for no memorable stretch of that game, they were not engaged.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm thinking of one game this calendar here where it really didn't feel like they were in it.
And I would say maybe the 2-1 loss at home to Arizona that ended the streak.
Yeah, even that one, it didn't feel like full on checked out, but they didn't have that level of turn it back on.
Yeah, they didn't they just Wedgwood made 400 saves that night. But also they just never really looked like they had that extra gear. So that's about it though. I think that this is a team that in third periods, we've made all the jokes about how they like to get choked and blah, 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 right? But we have seen when they get down, none of these games are over.
Yep. Yeah, the game at Boston, they did get their doors blown off. That's fair. Son.
The game, that's a great one.
Yeah.
The game in Boston, they definitely. That was what was weird about that game. It started at 11 a.m.
11 o'clock,
whatever it was. It was weird, dude. So that's that, and their blowout loss in Toronto, where Darcy Kuemper got a concussion during morning skate, and it was just the whole thing. They were never into that one either. So,
does anyone have Jesse Compher's number? Because I am absolutely down for a silver medal sock shirt.
That was such a weird I love that she was like, "It's not dirty. You can't tell people that." And you're like, "Girl, you're on television right now. This is not pre-recorded to be edited late. You're on TV." It was very funny, and it was very adorable.
Okay. Anyway, Avs are at 102 points. I believe Vegas's maximum point total right now, if they win out, is 104. So
they just lost an OT.
There would be 103 then.
Vegas
did? Minnesota lost, right? Not Vegas.
Oh, did they? I thought Vegas did.
I don't think Vegas.
Vegas did not play.
Vegas was what?
Yeah,
am I looking on the wrong day?
Mini lost.
Mini lost. Yep. You're right.
Dallas won in OT.
Either way, within
not clinched yet, but it's very close.
Yeah, it should. Yeah. The Avs should clinch a playoff spot within the week, basically. Anyway, I'm good. Any final thoughts from you two?
No, I think I'm good.
Who's built thicker, Blais? The guy on your hat or Curtis McDermott?
It's pretty close.
Dude. Did you see the video where Curtis McDermott gave a game puck to Kuemper?
No. Just a tank of a human being.
Just a tank of a human. That's why Tomas Hertl skating through. It's even that dude's an arm, just throwing the arm out there is it's impressive, man. That's why Hurdle makes those big bucks, though.
That dude's arm is the
Yeah.
size of a small person. So, anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for watching, listening, however you consume the pod. We appreciate all of y'all a ton. We're off tomorrow. We will be back Saturday for the game, pregame, postgame. Y'all know how it be. Go get party bus tickets if you want them. I think there's some left, but don't quote me on it. It might be sold out.
And the deadline's coming up, I think.
Yeah,
real soon.
Is coming very quickly. So if you do want to get it on it, go buy tickets right now. Do that. What is this comment even? We're out of here. We will talk to you on the next one.